Welcome to episode 2. We are live here from Vito HQ, aka the roof. A lot of videos for you today. We are going to be installing the deep cycle batteries, battery isolator, roof racks, roof basket, solar panels and solar controller. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting one, lots to get through. Let's dive in. My first purchase was a pair of these retard deep cycle batteries, 120 amp hours each, which doubles to 240. It was a challenge to say the least to get them installed. My plan was to put them under the driver's seat, so as you expected they did not fit, so I had to raise the driver's seat on brackets and build a little platform for the batteries to sit on. It took a bit of engineering and a little bit of ingenuity, but in the end they were a snug fit and I was happy with the final result. After a bit of test fitting and trial and error, I managed to get the cab liner removed and cleaned out and mounted the batteries on their platform. To compensate for the slight angle and slope of the floor, I got some builder's wedges that just happened to be at the right angle. So I screwed those to the bottom of the platform and that brought everything nice and level. Next, I needed to make a wooden panel to mount the solar controller and the battery isolator. So I just used a bit of plywood and mounted it to the rear portion of the bottom of the driver's seat. The charging circuit could potentially draw hundreds of amps, so I used nice and thick 6-gauge wire to connect the isolator to the cranking battery, and then connected the two deep cycle batteries in parallel. The isolator I bought was two-way, so when the engine is running and the charge level gets to 13.3 volts, the relay kicks in and starts charging the auxiliary batteries. And conversely, when the solar panels charge the auxiliary batteries and reach 13.3 volts, the relay kicks in again and starts charging the cranking battery. So both sets of batteries stay nicely charged. I thought I chose a sunny day to install the roof racks, but as you'll see shortly, the heavens do open. So I had to move the camera equipment inside, but from this view you will see me fixing the bolts in place. To attach the racks to the skin of the roof, I removed the Mercedes bolts from the U channel and simply replaced them with my own slightly longer bolts and used rubber washers to ensure a waterproof seal. Here's some exciting photos of the nuts and bolts, in case that sort of thing interests you. Next came the roof basket. All of my friends were busy this day, so I hoisted the basket onto the roof using a ratchet strap. After a bit of playing around and adjustment to get the alignment of the panels in the basket, I used a carbide tipped metal drill to fix together brackets and plates, and these would form the mounting mechanism for both the panels and the basket on the roof racks. In order to get the cables through inside the van safely and securely, I drilled a couple of holes, painted the raw metal edge with some primer, and dropped in a couple of grommets. After that, I used some Sikaflex to seal on a cable entry and tightened up the glands, which produces a totally waterproof and impervious cable entry on the roof. Finally, after what seemed like the longest day of my life, I got the solar controller mounted and crimped and terminated all the necessary cables with lug connectors and wired everything in. At this point, I didn't actually know if anything was going to work because there doesn't tend to be much sunlight at night time. So I had to wait for the following day for the sunlight to come out and to see if the solar panels came to life. And luckily they did. A quick test in full sunlight and we're receiving a healthy 14.8 volts. So everything seems to be working nicely. And that, my friends, is the money shot. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.